Hi again, and welcome back to Hidden Stressors and Education, Burnout, Trauma, and Grief Work series. My name is Cassie McComb, a current Master of Social Work volunteer at Light Movement. Today, we are talking about burnout in the body. So, this is the second part of the Burnout series. So, we'll be talking about what's actually happening physically when caring for students starts to feel overwhelming, exhausting, or maybe just unsustainable. So, I want to start with a couple of questions. Have you ever felt completely exhausted, especially after a full night's rest, or noticed your patience running out earlier than it used to? Maybe around 10 a.m., you're already done. If that's you, you're not alone. And more importantly, that feeling isn't just in your head, it's in your body. This isn't about fixing you, it's about understanding what your body is already doing. So, previously in Understanding Burnout, we talked about what burnout is. So, this is just a quick recap. Burnout is defined as a state of severe physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion caused by prolonged unmanaged stress, often work related, that is characterized by three core dimensions: exhaustion, detachment or cynicism, feeling less effective at your job. So, to understand burnout, we have to understand stress. Our bodies are wired for survival. When it senses a threat, it activates something called the sympathetic nervous system, otherwise known as your fight or flight response. So, this is going to be the top section of the image on the screen. This is the hyperarousal state. So, in this state, you're releasing cortisol, a hormone that helps you react quickly. Now, that's great if you're being chased by a bear, but here's the problem for educators. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real threat, like being chased by a bear, and perhaps a classroom full of noise, interruptions, decisions, and constant demands. So it stays switched on or activated all day. So when that stress response never turns off, it starts to wear on your nervous system. Your stress system, called the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, you'll also see it as the HPA axis, is the body's primary neuroendocrine system for managing stress, linking the central nervous system to the endocrine system. And that shows up in physical ways such as feeling constantly tired, getting more headaches or muscle tension, sleep isn't feeling restful, and mentally it's harder to focus. You forget things more easily and may feel a higher sense of irritability. This isn't weakness, it's your nervous system being overloaded. Chronic stress in the brain. When stress becomes chronic, it doesn't just affect your body, it changes how your brain functions. So I'll go through the three parts. We'll start with the amygdala. This is your brain's alarm system. With chronic stress, it becomes more sensitive, meaning you're more likely to feel overwhelmed, reactive, or on edge, even in situations that didn't used to bother you. At the same time, the hippocampus, which helps with memory and learning, can become less effective. That's part of why you might walk into a room and forget what you're going to do or struggle to find the right words mid-lesson. And then there's the prefrontal cortex. This is part of your brain that is responsible for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Under chronic stress, it basically goes, you could say, a little offline. So if you've ever thought, like, why am I reacting this way? Or why can't I think straight right now? That's probably your prefrontal cortex thinking. So there is a biological reason. Your brain is prioritizing survival and not performance. So here's the hopeful part to all this. Your body is not broken, it's adaptive, thanks to something called neuroplasticity. Your brain and nervous system can actually relearn how to feel calm and regulated, even after long periods of stress. Recovery doesn't require a total life overhaul, it starts small. So, today I just want to give you 3 simple regulation tools that you can use throughout your day. These might be things that you're already doing or you're aware of, but I just want to go through 3 different tools. So, we'll start with the left side of the screen. We have the tapping. So, I call this the butterfly hug. You can put your hands across your chest and lightly tap, alternating sides. You can also use your collarbone higher up, whichever you feel comfortable with. You can rotate that about 15 times. And then moving on to the 5 senses. So this could be about a 60-second reset, either inside the classroom during lunch breaks, outside. I always prefer outside. So take notice of 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things you can feel, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And then the third one is a bit silly, but shake it out with a little dance break. This can either be during a lunch break by yourself, with coworkers. Listening to music and dancing is always a great regulation tool. So all 3 of these tools can be used in your classroom by yourself or with students. I think these are great tools to regulate and co-regulate with your students throughout the day and coworkers. One last thing I would like to point out is boundaries is another big one. Pick a time to stop working each day and let good enough actually be good enough. Your nervous system needs that signal that the day is done, and your nervous system will thank you. I want to leave you with this. Burnout is not a personal failure. It's a biological response to your prolonged stress. Your body is not working against you. It's trying to protect you. And even small moments of reset throughout the day can start to make a big difference. So maybe the question isn't, how do I push through this? Maybe it's, how can I support my nervous system the way I support my students and the way that I show up for my coworkers? As we wrap up, if you'd like to explore this work more deeply, there are additional resources available. Our Hidden Stressors in Education, Burnout, Trauma, and Grief Workshop series, including vicarious trauma and compassion fatigue, and grief videos created by MSW volunteers Inga Vickers and Zach Peters, offers further support and tools. So I encourage you to keep following along. Links in the comments will take you to Light's YouTube channel, and you can also visit Light's website to learn more. Thank you again so much for tuning in. We appreciate you, and make sure to do something special for yourself today. Thank y'all.